I have two piano-playing men in my life, or I had. They're still in my life. They're just not in this plane anymore. But they're playing somewhere. And one was my Uncle Murray. I think I told you about Uncle Murray. He was the man who was so far ahead of his time that people made fun of him, and they didn't understand him, and they told stories about him, and he was kind of, the outcast person because he didn't fit into the norm. And have you ever felt like that? I know I have. I remember what high school was like, but that's a different story. But I had these two men, Uncle Murray, and he was a mystic. And long before I knew him, he self-medicated for the pain of being so different and became an alcoholic, and probably didn't show up the way he knew his excellence to be. And then they carted him off and put him in an institution. And, well, that's, what we have often done with people we don't understand. We put them in boxes somewhere. And so we spent 17 years in this institution. I met him, I was 10. And my uncle, who was his half-brother and my mother's half-brother, Uncle Murray was my mother's half-brother. We all lived on a big farm. And so we had this barn, and there was a space above the barn, and so Uncle Sid turned it into an apartment for Uncle Murray. And they brought him home, and you can only imagine what it must have been like for him to step out of that contained world where crazy people are, half of whom probably aren't, and come into this very different, big, dynamic family with 2 sets of kids and all of the stuff that goes with them. And there were 9 of us kids. And so my mother said, stay away from Uncle Murray because he's different. And, it's just better. Well, somebody like me, what that would do. It's just like red flag for me. Thank you, Mom. And so I made sure I was available whenever Uncle Murray was mowing the lawn or washing the dishes. Those were his 2 tasks. When he wasn't doing those things, he was reading one of the 1,000 books on metaphysics and all the world religions, standing on his head, meditating. And then there was my father, who was an amazing, amazing being. And he expressed the real passion of his soul in his music, in the piano. Because he had given up what he wanted to be, a child of the Depression, and born into some greatness. He had such greatness in him, and he became a great salesman. He was a great salesman, and he taught us all, how to really value the customer. And, we all helped him put his books together, all of his sales sheets, and we were part of his sales life. But my favorite part of his life, actually when I was in high school, I studied a chemistry book that he wrote that never got published. But I used it in my chemistry class, and it made sense for me. And one summer, I spent the whole summer studying one of his books on Arabic. And I learned the Arabic alphabet. I don't know why. Something compelled me. But I think it was my soul connection with my father, who loved the classics, who spoke, studied that and spoke that. And, so when my father played piano, he played not as good as Jeffrey plays, but he played with the same passion, with the same heart. He let his excellence, all that he cares about and all that he loves, he let that come through himself, through his hands, and onto the piano. And Uncle Murray, before he went into all of those 17 years, used to play the piano for the silent movies at the local theater. So here's these two men in my life, so connected to piano, and I was so moved by Jeffrey's music this morning that it stimulated that. It wasn't really the topic. But, given time and all, maybe it is. The theme today is in the context of the month's theme, and the month's theme is diversity and inclusivity. So, how inclusive are you with your excellence? How much do you let your excellence shine through you? I have a book in the room that I get to call my office. It's so much fun. And on the table is a candle and a book. And the book's title is Shine. And I got it from my grandson because he shines. He's my shine teacher. He's autistic slightly. And his heart is so big, and there's just beams of light coming out of him. So if you want to get in touch with your excellence and let it shine, come on in and sit in that room and talk to me about that. And look at the book. So, led by excellence is the topic. And I decided to bring something I made this morning for myself. And it's called a mind map. And this is the one, I stayed up last night till 1 o'clock writing and thinking and reading and doing all that fun stuff. It's the minister's continued education program is Saturdays. And and I wrote and wrote and wrote, and then I got on a political soapbox, and I said, no, you can't do that. I got off, and then I prayed and sang, and I went, well, no, there's other people doing that, and so I gave that up, and I did all this stuff, and having a ball doing it, just exploring what's real for me. And as I went to bed, I went, just do a mind map. It'll be okay. You never look at those notes anyway. They're just priming the pump. So I did this mind map, and this is my structure. You can see there's a circle in the middle, and then there's these diagonal lines, and there's 4 segments. So the circle is, what is the main point for you? So today, the principle that we're studying is that life is governed by principles. And whatever amount of that we know is true is what is the amount of those principles that work in our life. And that is up to us. You can go to that infinite, unlimited principle place with a teaspoon or a bathtub and fill it up. It's your choice. So today, my choice is to know what my truth is and to ask you, what's your truth? What's really true for you about the idea that we're all born for excellence, that we all have excellence within us? You saw it this morning, Rick opening with that song and his voice that vibrates through us and his presence. And then when Jeffrey played, and when Raj was playing the drums, did you see that? And then when Mary prayed from the depths of her heart and let it all be seen, honest to God, it takes my breath away when we let ourselves be seen in the excellence that we are. We all have different gifts here, different skills. Gordon is an amazing painter. Amazing painter. And I hope soon we're going to share all of that, your paintings here in this community. It is something I really, really, really want to do. We all have something. And the point is, what is yours? What is your excellence? What is your gift? What is seeking to be shone through you or shown? Well, that too, shown, yes. Just shine on. There's a little word, Giadi. Giadi. It's a fun little word. You can put it on your checks. It means God is all there is. Giadi. It's cool. So on the bottom of this mind map is the foundation. This is what I know to be true. This is what supports me when I forget. This is the rock upon which I build my life. And so I've said it lots of different ways in my life, but right now it's spirit first. I think it's the perfect title for this day and age. Spirit first. There's a lot of other things that might want to get your attention first, because heaven knows it's pretty dynamic out there. But let's make it dynamic in here by going to spirit first. And when we know that spirit is in first position and we give spirit our full attention, when we become teachable that way, then life changes. And it starts doing this, flowing easily. And then the top part is the vision of possibility. What could happen if I really leaned into my excellence? If I believed that it were true? What is possible? So I give you just a second to think about, or maybe 30 of them. They're precious. Use them well. What's your excellence? What is the gift you have? It could be that you're a great listener. It could be that you have forgiven everything. It could be that you're writing your third book. It could mean that you've broken those chains and seen yourself for the glory that you are. It could be that you found perfect harmony in your family. You know what it is. So let yourself know it. What is your excellence? And what is the truth you know about that? Is the truth that you know that you are perfect, whole, and complete, that this is spirit shining through you? If it's not that, it could be. So as we learn to accept our excellence and to envision what is possible with it, we come to see what is the change that wants to happen in our life. What's calling us forward? And then on either side, discipline. So it's great to have an idea. You know, I'm sure that all of us, in relation to our excellence, our gifts, our skills, we kind of have a sense of them. But they don't get developed into excellence when we sit on the couch hoping that we'll just gather it up by osmosis and be such a concert pianist. We have to go da 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 da. And we have to learn how that little third finger goes over and then put this one together, and it takes time. And it takes discipline. And then it takes dedication. What are we dedicating our energy to? What are we dedicating our thoughts to? Where are we putting our attention? You can tell what you're dedicated to by how you spend your time. So just do a little inventory. Are you dedicating yourself to the things that are in the center circle here, your excellence? Or are you dedicating to what I used to say, I'll do it as soon as I finish the dishes, put the kids to bed, fold the clothes. I'll do it later. I'll do it when I retire. Oh, I don't think I'll ever do that. And I'll do it then. What are you dedicated to? And does that want to change? Because is that dedication going to bring you into the place you want to be? If not, it's not hard. You can change it. There's lots of ways you can change that and become dedicated to really what matters. So discipline is the art of committing to yourself to show up in a way that's going to serve the expansion of you as a spiritual being. And as a writer, as a mother, as a lover, as a friend, whatever it is your groove. There's tools to help us. We're going to practice one together starting March 7th, going till April 15th. It's called Lent. Oh, a new kind of Lent. I was Protestant, then I was Catholic, then I was sort of Buddhist, and then I was sort of just floating, waiting for something to sink in. And then I found Science of Mind. Praise heavens. So what is Lent? The essence of Lent really is the practice of purifying yourself. That's really the purpose of Lent, is purification. And in back in the day, I don't know, because I don't think I was there, but I might have been, it was really eliminating those things that made it hard on our system to do well. And when times are tough, who needs meat? So let's give it up and save it for the winter. Who knows what that's all about? But here's what we're going to do. If this is our assignment, if you choose to accept it. It's totally up to you. Nobody's going to run around measuring. But the result will be evident. And we are going to give up limited thinking. Simple enough, right? Anybody have any limited thinking that you want to? You could add to that limited behaviors, if you like, or limiting habits, whatever you like. And so here's the exercise. Here's the discipline. Because discipline has a bad rap, you know. But anyway, we won't go there. But it takes focused, consistent attention on the things that you want, that want to happen through you in order for you to change. So Lent is a discipline. How to do it, I give you another discipline. So we each have two hands, right? So this exercise is called left hand, right hand. Whenever you notice that you're thinking a limited thought, today, while you're all happy as clams here, just know that you're going to make a choice today to be honest with yourself the next time you have a limited thought. And you're going to put that limited thought, metaphorically speaking, into your left hand. And you're going to say, oh gosh, there that is again. I thought I was done with you. Or, oh. And you go, oh, wait a minute, that's not my truth. My truth is that I am led by excellence. I have excellence within me. I'm born to be awake and aware and fully alive. I'm born to be, and you fill in the blank. This is my gift. This is my joy. This is what's calling me. And then you choose, because when you put the choice in front of you, it's clear who the heck wants to continue to suffer. So whenever we're saying it's just too hard, really, do you want more of that? Because the law of life says, as you wish. It's up to you. You decide. But if you don't want hard, say it's easy. It's natural for me to be in my bliss. I was born to shine. That's a choice. So that's a practice that we're going to use. And we'll probably come up with other practices. So just know that we here, and all the people who are in service in this community, are dedicated, which is the next step, dedicated to provide everything we know that works to support all of us on our spiritual journey. Everything. The building, the music, the order, the prayers, the devotion, the faith, and the willingness to accept each other as we are, knowing that we are all filled with the divine spirit and we are all excellent and that we have that in us. So we are dedicated to that, and you will notice in the month of March that we are having lots of special things that are designed for members and the community at large, because we are determined to do everything we can to remove the barriers to our great joy and success. Membership is one of those things. And membership is one of the ways we build that community. Membership is one of the ways we discover what matters to us. Membership is a choice to say, okay, Spirit, use me. Show me how to be here. Let me give my gift. And, we all know the person who's going to share the membership moment with us right now because he's been giving his gift. And so let us listen attentively to Larry as he shares why being a member matters to him.
I have to digress for a minute. Jeffrey playing that piece reminded me. Any MASH fans here? Do you remember an episode where an injured soldier came in and he had his arm blown off, or his right hand was missing or whatever, and he was so despondent and wanted to end his life. And Major Winchester, remember him, the arrogant aristocrat, aficionado of music and concert level quality pianist himself. He sent off to headquarters for a piece. I think it was the same composer. I don't know if there are many. Okay, but the same story applies. For this soldier to play with his left hand only, and it changed his life. I mean, this soldier was a concert level quality pianist who had a great future ahead of him, and it totally turned him around, and he was blessed by that. So, Jeffrey, I hope you come back to visit us more often. Okay, why is membership important to me? I've been part of Science of Mind for 20 years, at least 20 years. 20 years before that in Unity. And the first few years that I was in Science of Mind, I didn't see the necessity of membership. The only point that could be said for it is that once a year you got to vote for the board, the council, and so on. So I didn't join for a while. But eventually I became so committed and intertwined with the philosophy that I wanted to make a statement of joining as a public affirmation to commit my service and my beliefs to the movement. And probably it was more of an ego thing on the physical level to massage my ego. But I take a lot of pride and responsibility with that commitment of membership to help out our community and be a part of it. I believe in this stuff. The law of circulation, tithing works, absolutely works. Law of mind action, law of attraction, etc. I'm here to stay. I came to realize that the divine energy is within me. It's not some old man sitting on a cloud somewhere. So I totally believe in membership as a public way of showing that I'm here to stay. I'm also the coordinator of the greeters. I have to get a plug in here. Coordinator of the greeters, ushers, and we're always looking for new people to help us with that function. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. So how do we tie this all together? There is a spiritual solution to every challenge that we're facing. So I invite the practitioners to join me, knowing this truth. And if you used to be a practitioner and you're not anymore, for whatever reason, doesn't matter, I invite you to stand where you are. And if you want to be a practitioner and you don't know how, or you got a story about that, but if it's something that you're yearning to do, I invite you to stand where you are. Yes. And let us in our prayer, let us in our truth know that as we allow this expansion and include this part of us, that is ready to take this next step, let us put this in our prayer and know that there is a divine movement through us always that knows the highest and greatest good for each of us and already knows us as that gift which we feel now and are called by now. It is Spirit planted in us, ready and willing and able the moment we are. And so there is a huge shift of consciousness going on in the world. And there are so many ways to participate. Come on Wednesday and meet an imam or a rabbi or a Baptist pastor and reach out and seek to include them and stretch and let it feed your gift. Let this inclusivity allow for more possibilities in you. And as we grow and shift our consciousness, something changes in us. More life is natural. We get ourselves into the flow and we go, oh my God, life is amazing. And we look at the mess that we have over there in the corner and we go, that's okay. There is a spiritual solution for this challenge. And I am open to it. And so what I know is there is a spiritual revolution going on in our society this day, all around the world, and right here in America especially. There is a spiritual awakening happening. And just as Edgar Cayce said, he said the world would tip on its axis. And in fact, it's not the physical world that's happening, it's the metaphysical world that is tipping. And we are at that point of change that is tipping to the possible, is tipping to heaven, is tipping to the holiness of this amazing life. And it matters what we think and what we do and who we are. And we here do community so that we can know this truth and we can know it about each other and we can open and be willing to see each other as the beautiful gift from Spirit that we are. And so in this day, we include whatever comes to us. We see everyone that we used to think of as other, and we know them as us. We are one family, one. And we practice this all day. Our prayers are growing and richer, and something definite happens when we pray. And so I invite you, if there is something that you want to expand in your life, go to the prayer room after service and see a practitioner and tell them where it is that you were called so that they might know this truth with you. And if there is a block that is in your way, tell them what the block is and what you are willing for so they can know the magnificence of this life and how it helps you move that block out of the way so that you can be the excellence that you are. I am so grateful for this church, this community, this center, these people, this call, this life, and the possibilities that are available to all of us. I just know that God is my source and that I am the choice that allows it to be my experience. I know that for me, and I know that's possible for each of us. And peace on earth happens because of us. I let it be because it is. And so it is.
I am so blessed.